Ciaran, what kind of impact, lasting impact, does this inability to go to school have on children in conflict zones?
Well, thanks as always for having me on. It's absolutely devastating to see those images. I mean, we're being bombarded. Maybe that's not an appropriate use of the term, but this horrible, horrible situation unfolding in front of us. I mean, it has a catastrophic impact, as you can imagine. Every child has a right to go to school. Every child has a right to get an education, and that right has been completely ripped away from so many people living in the Gaza Strip whose daily lives have been completely torn apart. And let's not forget, when we're talking about schools, let's also talk about universities. Every university in the Gaza Strip has been completely destroyed. Everybody in Gaza who was enrolled in universities are not able to complete their education. We have had professors, heads of universities be targeted and attacked and killed in cold blood during this ongoing genocide. And this is absolutely abhorrent, and the impact that this will have, the ripple effect for decades to come, is absolutely scandalous.
And what about the impact on communities themselves? Because, of course, when these schools are bombed, that is a destruction of a key piece of infrastructure that would have sat at the heart of a community and that will struggle to be repaired. We've talked this week about the challenges of just clearing the rubble, never mind rebuilding these facilities. Talk to me about the impact that has for these communities down the line.
Well, yeah, exactly. As you rightly point out, schools play a crucial role in, educating young people, but being the lifeblood of society and of communities. And yeah, the impact is catastrophic. And of course, it's not just schools. We've seen the targeting of mosques. We've seen the targeting of community centers. We've seen the targeting of lots of other civilian infrastructure, which again, everybody is well aware of, is a war crime, is not permissible under international humanitarian law, the laws of armed conflict. This is illegal. Not that that seems to matter anymore in this devastating 9 months and 78 years that precedes it. So, I mean, we really are witnessing Israel's attempt to erase completely every facet of Palestinian life and livelihood, and it is for shame on the West for facilitating this, for shame on Europe for facilitating this and allowing Israel to get away with it relatively scot-free.
And Ciaran, what you study is, of course, resolution and reconciliation. How hard is it for children and for young people that have witnessed this destruction of their communities, of their schools, of buildings that they would have spent most of their lives in up until that point, potentially, just destroyed? How hard is it for them to then come to terms with that and reconcile and move on?
I mean, it's $1 million question. I have no idea how anybody is going to be able to move on from this past 9 months. I mean, the level of destruction that has been that we have witnessed here is unprecedented, really. So I really don't know. I can't answer that question. What does rebuilding look like in this context? How do people rebuild their lives and move forward? But one thing that we know to be very, very clear about is that Palestinians will rebuild their lives. They will remain on the land. They are steadfast and determined, and they will resist by any and all means necessary any attempts to be erased from historic Palestine. And there's absolutely no chance that they will not do that. And that's something that we, as committed comrades and those that are dedicated to supporting Palestinian life and livelihoods, must do moving forward, is to help them do that. But there's a lot of work to do and a lot of heavy lifting to do. But the most important thing at this moment in time is to bring this genocide to a halt so that we can then begin to talk about repair, a justice-oriented reconstruction for the people of Palestine.
All right, Brendan, Ciaran Browne from Trinity College in Dublin, thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour on TRT World today.